Let's see. Got this here. Set up. Yeah. So I had my schedule wrong. That's what happened when sometimes you ain't got your calendar in order. And so I had my schedule wrong. So I had a session booked for my client, but forgot we already did the session earlier because what I have VIP sessions to where if somebody book a session and I'm booked out a month or two, they could upgrade it and get in within 48 hours. So we had already completed the session and I didn't delete it out my calendar. So that's my bad. But that was good because I needed a live break anyways, and then start a new video. But I got work to do that I'm gonna be doing, outside of this. But because I don't really get to go live too often, I'm gonna start trying to go live in the daytime like this when I'm in the office, when I'm not coaching. And the reason being is because the devil be working. And what I notice is sometimes I'll be sitting in the office and I'll be in my own little world and the devil be working. And meaning it be yesterday I was on me and my homeboy, we was on here on this same little system and we were talking about something we working on a little podcast, more so for men, manhood and stuff like that. And we seen old red pill. While we were sitting here talking, we seen a red pill. And I'm like, wow. Seen old red pill. And Ruka say, look out for Paul. It's the internet, World Wide Web. Sometimes you have people on the other side of the world just sitting on a computer playing and ain't got nothing to do. So yeah, I had my schedule. Schedule was wrong. I should have checked. So now I done checked with my next client. My next client now for 2 hours, and I got that one right. So I got that one right. So this Q&A, this really for the Blessed Tribe, but I didn't set the setting on here. So people who not in the Blessed Tribe is on here as well. That's why we have trolls. And yes, the lives will be available for rewatch, I think, because I just deleted them from this here system and it's not YouTube. So it connects to YouTube. Oh no, I ain't delete the last one I did. So yeah, it should be available for rewatch. I'm hoping I ain't delete all my old lives. But I just deleted because sometimes it fill up and they want you to pay more money. No, brother, you ain't getting no more out, man. What are your thoughts on a guy BSL of 10 years? Can somebody put it in the chat what BSF mean? If is that a typo or is it? Do that mean best friend? Always been consistent and there for me. I'm 27. He's 24. Met in high school and haven't seen each other since 2017 because his visa expired. He's from Toronto. Okay. Nay, it's nothing to think about on that. And I want y'all ladies to really start racking y'all brain by stuff that don't really matter. If a man ain't in your face and he don't live in the same city with you to where you could see him every week, it's non-consequential. A relationship with a man that's not in person is not really real. And the only time that it's really real, like really real, is when the Holy Spirit all over him. Like you get the chills from the Holy Spirit that's on him. But a man have to see and touch for it to be real. And that goes for long distance relationships. A lot of times people are like, oh, so you saying long distance relationships ain't real. Listen, it's barely real when it's in person. Like women getting cheated on with a man that's sleeping in the bed next to them. What the world you think you in a long distance relationship? Unless he is a devout man of God, meaning like he walk like, talk like, look like, act like you could really feel the presence on that man. That's the only way he gonna have the strength to be faithful. Thoughts on getting married under a year? Never get married under a year. If you could get married under a year, you could wait to month 13. But never get married under a year. You need a full year of talking. You need, in that year, you need a minimum of 365 talk hours. A minimum. And you need a minimum of 365 days to get to know somebody, because 12 months is really your closest and safest bet to seeing a person in all of their ebbs and flows. And before you get married, you need to see somebody happy, sad, grieving, angry, excited, disappointed. You need to see them with their friends, see them with customer service, with waiters, see them in a sporting event, see them in a theater event, see them in a church. You need to see them in life, and don't rush it. So on average, you need to average an hour a day of talk time. If you too busy to talk an hour a day, like throughout that day, it don't have to be all an hour at one time, which it should be though. You should be able to, even if it's the hour before bed, or if it's the hour when you're on lunch, or if it's the hour before dinner, or whatever, you should have an hour to talk. If either of you cannot talk for 1 hour a day, then you should not be dating. You should not be in a relationship. You don't have time for a relationship, because what you realizing is you about to get with somebody that you're going to have to spend 24 hours a day with sometime. So if y'all can't even talk an hour a day, y'all wasting each other's time. You're not finna do nothing but be butt buddies. How should we move when dating and all of y'all asking questions that's not in the Blessed Tribe? I don't know if Jordan in there. Y'all need to join the Blessed Tribe. Y'all need this your freebie. Y'all need to join the Blessed Tribe. It's $1.99. Free coaching. This is really a Blessed Tribe Q&A. And so forgive me to the Blessed Tribe now. How should we move when dating a recently divorced guy? So for one, what you want to do, Jordan, is you want to look and make sure he's divorced. So make sure that you could see the divorce records, if it's online, or that you see it from him. And it's just the price that people have to pay when you go through a divorce. Like, you got to make sure he divorced. Then the next thing you have to do is you got to take your time. You got to realize it's a marathon, because a man who has gone through a divorce, the next woman is most likely a rebound. Very rarely is that next woman being taken seriously. A lot of times, if he recently divorced, now, unless he's been separated for years, but now even if he was separated for 1 year and then the divorce got finalized, still that next woman is like a delicate dance. It's like he just tiptoeing. And so you got to take your time, because you will get your heart broke, because he got to figure out the dating scene again, and he got to get back out there. And he's not going to go from no lockdown marriage, from being married, to just immediately boom. It happens, but it's rare. And now the way you got this here business suit on, and you got that good head of hair in there, even though it looked like extensions, but it looked quality. Like your hairstylist know what she doing, and if that's your hair, then it's really good and healthy. And you got a prototype black woman face, meaning it's just kind of like the face that we see in the magazines, in the movies, where you just have all symmetrical type features and stuff of a black woman. So that right there alone, because men are visual creatures, that's gonna get you a little further than a woman that he may look at and say, she a little non-traditional, or she look a little unique, and that'll get you a little further. And but that still ain't enough. You got to keep your legs closed, because after a man go through a divorce, he really is not safe for a woman for like 3 years, like of him, like dating and just healing and going to therapy, going to coaching, getting on his grind, working on his mind, his body, his spirit, and just really trying to weaken that soul tie he got with his ex-wife. Because that those emotional bonds are real, and it take time, and it take focus and dedication and sacrifice and work to break that emotional tie. So you got to think about that. Y'all put on hashtag Q in front of your question like Summer did. I'm 28, he's 30. Decent convos, hung out once, says that he's moving, so needs to save, and hard to pay for dates. Why do guys only give me the bare minimum, wanting me to give my body, but no effort? It's just a man shooting his shot, just what he trying. It's really that's just a man. A garbage can want a steak too. And so even though humans treat steak like a delicacy, trash cans get steaks too. And once the trash can realize it's gonna get a steak every now and then, it'll start saving a little appetite. So you just got to realize that's just a man being a man. It's you rarely gonna you got to date several men till you meet the one that's gonna really put in a lot. Y'all got to forgive my test. My wife still telling me about Tater haircut. How many months of premarital counseling do you recommend a couple complete before marriage? A minimum of 4 sessions. Need a minimum of 4 sessions, and that could be counseling like with a licensed counselor, or relationship coaching with a qualified married coach who you can vet and make sure the real deal. Not all premarital counseling is created equal, so you got to understand you still have to look at the human being. Like you got to look at their situation, their energy, their attitude, their presence, whether they single or married. You got to evaluate them too, because it is very common and customary for a human to speak from where they are. So if they're not in a happy, fulfilled marriage, their viewpoints, unless they're just reading off of a treatment plan or a paper, their viewpoints could be skewed. So you have to be careful with that, because you will get people who, it's a lot of people who take sides. Like a lot of people go to counselors, and the counselor, male or female, may just be on the woman's side or just be on the man's side. And it's really because a lot of people can't separate their own personal views from, the principles that make a relationship work, or their own personal feelings and thoughts and all of that. Hey, Jermaine, God bless you now. Um, man. Well, the disconnect between women and men is For a woman, it's more emotional. And for a man, it's more physical. And a lot of men have started making it physical and transactional from a young age. And although there are some women that do that, it's far less women who are taught to please themselves at a young age than there are men. So just emotionally and mentally, the act is transactional for men. Whereas, so for a man, we could be ready in the morning, first thing in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning to get it in. We could be ready at midnight, at 1 a.m. because it's just it's a feeling, and that thing reacts and then it releases. It reacts and it releases. Whereas a woman, the body is much more complex, much more intricate. Is much more detailed to a woman. It's like when you see a Ford pickup truck, that's how a man built. A woman more so like a luxury sedan with the touch screen and all the electronic computer that is very sensitive and very delicate. The woman more so like a supercar, her body more so like a supercar, whereas a man, we real simple. It just done. So that's where it's the disconnect is. We just are two totally different. Welcome to the new Blessed Tribe members. So the next live we do, it'll be Blessed Tribe members only. And y'all will be in. I just ain't get a chance to log into YouTube and make it members only. So that was my bad. Dating a divorced man with a teenage daughter. She posted my YouTube channel on social media telling people to harass me. He checked her on it and she took it down and we reported it. Should I be concerned? No, that's a child. You shouldn't be concerned. And what people gonna do? Because if she posted, everybody know her. And you ain't did nothing to her. You know, you got that WBC belt on, so it look like you like boxing. So hopefully you ain't boxed up yet. But you ain't do nothing to her. Just basically she territorial. You know, her dad has treated her like a wife instead of like a daughter. And so she territorial, and that's her dad, and she don't want his money going to you instead of to her dunks and her new outfits and what she got going on in her life, and she don't want his time going to you. So that's very natural and normal, but you can't worry about a child. You just have to win favor with her. Like, you got to be nice to her. Like, you come over, bring gifts. Like the Bible say, your gift will make room for you. Bring her a new shirt, bring her some shoes. People can't really hate on you when you're nice, and when you show them your heart. You change. That's why the Bible say when you nice to somebody who is mean, it's like heaping hot coals on their head. Like they just feel crazy, like just feel stupid being mean and nasty and negative to somebody that actually got a genuine heart. But if you come in and you posturing and you competing with her and all of that, then she gonna sense that too. And you gonna lose that. You're gonna lose that one. Roll this live. This live. Whenever it say live, that little red button down there, that's how you know it's all the way live. Sometimes when it say premiere, that means it's pre-recorded and it's just playing like it's live. Engaged at 8 months. I broke it off at 12 months. Found out he lied about smoking and sucks his thumb. He's in his 40s. Well, that's your right. And for me, I believe smoking is a foundational preference. Like I believe, not preference, I believe smoking is a standard. Like wanting someone who doesn't smoke is a standard, not a preference. Like a preference are just kind of things that hold no weight. It's not no real bearing. It's like just something you want. Like, oh, I want somebody to be 6 foot. I want them to be 6 foot tall. That's a preference. But that has nothing to do with character. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just something he can't even control. He didn't earn it, you know, and he did not earn it. He just 6 foot or taller. Have nothing to do with him. But something that is rooted in a man's choices and the way he treats his body, like smoking, then that could be a part of your foundational standards. So you could say, I don't want somebody who watch POR. I don't want somebody who smoke. I don't want somebody who drinks. I don't want somebody who sleep around before marriage. I don't want somebody like those things, because it affects the mind and the spirit and the body and the health, and a person could put themselves at risk and they could lose their life. Those things are standards and you could stand on that. But if you notice, by 12 months, you knew. And that's why I say never get married inside of 12 months. Yep, Joya, this is a new lie. No. Witchcraft only if the man is susceptible to it. So if he dealing with witches, like if he dealing with spirits, demonic spirits, then yes. But if he's a man of God and he pray and he live by the Bible, she ain't got no power. She can't do nothing. But if he watching that POR and he entertaining spirits, then yes. It's not that she taking him, it's that he want her. He attracted to her. We gonna forgive the non-blessed tribe members who not putting hashtag Q in front of their question. They new here. Y'all join the blessed tribe now. Met 4 months ago online. We're exclusive now. He's separated for 1 year. Divorce, verified online, will be finalized soon. He has 3 small children, 3, 5, 9, and I have 1 small daughter, 9, too fast. Yeah, you moving too fast, and technically you also in sin because he's still married and because it's not finalized, and you also are a rebound. So he's not serious about you no more than can of paint serious about the moon. It's just you like a therapist. You like a full-time therapist. You like a soft pillow. You're like a band-aid. A man who's serious about himself and serious about his life, he will never date before his divorce is finalized. That's a man who is weak and insecure, and he doesn't know himself, and he doesn't get to know himself, and he can't be alone. And so you are effectively playing yourself, and that's the type of man you could meet online sometimes, whether it be social media or online dating. And did you meet him on online dating? Dating out. Hi, Tony. Has the first person email you regarding rewriting you what? Yeah, nah, you already know that now, Till. I'm out here talking to this many people. I got so many emails, I will never offer another job on a video. I got so many emails. I created customer service work for myself. And I did not need that. So y'all understand I ain't gonna be responding to y'all about that book because somebody somehow, I don't know how she did it, but she was able to do some kind of copy and pasting from her Nook, which is an e-reader like the Kindle, but it's Barnes and Noble's e-reader called a Nook. She was doing some kind of copy and pasting, and she sent me the whole manuscript. So, and I just reading a little bit of it, of the last chapter. I'm like, man, this thing too real, man. I wrote the book at 22 years old. What daddy never told his little girl. I was just too real back then, man. It's too raw. So, but I'm gonna get it edited and go and re-release it. I'll probably re-release it this year. Just an updated one. Not changing nothing really, but y'all got to understand I wrote it when I was 22. I'm 40 years old now. So although some things have changed, I just ain't got the time to go back and argue with myself. Robin, God bless you. Get you a journal. Get you a journal. When you're going through that space right there and made serious mistakes in the past and working on yourself, get you a journal and write every day. You know, just write and minister to yourself. TT, God bless you for joining the old blessed tribe. Why do I feel like I legit attract bums, guys with no car, no money, no job, no motivation in life? Could there be a reason? That's who you're supposed to attract, because they need help. So that come with the territory. You're gonna attract that. And there could be some things you giving off. I can't really see you too well on your picture. It looked like you got long nails on there, the kind that look like you hurt yourself wiping. And if that's the case, that boxes you in. And it looked like you got on double or triple volume lashes. That also boxes you in. So what y'all have to realize is that there's only two types of men. You got this type of man, which is a grown boy, and then you have grown men. So you have to look at grown men. And what a grown man means is a man that you assume to be faithful. Like, you don't know any scandals on him in the community. If it's like somebody you could see in person, and then same if it's somebody you could see online. Like, you have to look at grown men and look at our wives. And you're going to see that the majority, because grown boys do get married too, but you could tell if it's a grown boy by how he dresses, how he talks, how he carries himself. And that's when you know, okay, this is a grown boy who got married for whatever reason. So you don't look at his wife. You look at men that you see in your community or online that you feel is a grown, respectable, responsible, faithful man. You never know for sure, but based on what you see. And then you look at their wives. And that's going to tell you that this is the type of woman that grown men are attracted to. And what you'll notice is that 9 out of 10 of those women will not have triple volume lashes, will not have, I'll cut somebody's fingernails, will not look like a cast member from Love and Hip Hop, or maybe not even like from Basketball Wives or Atlanta Housewives. Like, it's not going to be 9 out of 10 times. It's not going to be like all silicone or whatever you'll call it. It's not going to be all snatched, built like an ant, and just looking unrealistic. 9 out of 10 times. Now, it's exceptions to the rule now. But typically, when it's exceptions to the rule, the man don't even know. Like, he don't even know the woman had a BBL. He think that's natural. He didn't even know. 25-year-old RN never had a boyfriend. Any advice? Do a coaching session. You really don't want advice like this online, like that right there. You just do a coach session. You're 25 years old. You know, you need you're an RN, so you got coaching money. So do your coaching session, Toya. And it's probably, you could be in protective custody, or you can make 1 or 2 changes. I can't really see you because your picture is far away. And so it could be deceptive on here. And so do your coaching session, get you a personal plan for you. And you could, while they discounted, go to mymentor.life. Me and several other coaches have some good rates right now, booking into the end of the year. How can I become more submissive to my husband? Been married a month. Now, because I don't know your marriage and because I don't know what you do, you might not need to be more submissive. Like, you might be already submissive, and you got to understand what submissive is now. Submissive don't mean a do-girl. It don't mean just like a slave. It don't mean you don't have a say-so. It doesn't mean you don't have your own mind. Submissive means you're not combative, meaning you are trusting him to make decisions for the household, but you also are showing him his blind spots. So if a man say, hey, I think we should sell our house, pack up our stuff, and move to this other state, and you don't agree with that, then you have to thoroughly express why you don't agree with that and why that is not a good decision and why you are completely in disagreement with that. And if he loves you, he will hear you. He will hear you. It'll make sense to him. If he is a tyrant and a dictator and he's not a real husband, then he's going to say, I don't care what you think and what you want. This is what we're doing. And whether you like it or not. And if you love him, then you also going to hear him if he making sense. I have coached countless women who and they say stuff like, well, I would follow his lead, but he dumb. And I'm like, okay, well, why did you marry him? Well, he's a nice person and he works hard, but he just makes terrible decisions. And I'm like, okay, well, just talk to him, like try to expose him to different things and try to, speak life and try to help him understand. And women be like, well, I tried that. He won't listen. I literally just got to rebel. Like I just literally got to buck the system. Like he will not listen. And every time I let him make a decision, we go deeper in debt. We lose this. We about to lose the house. We go through this. We about to file bankruptcy. And so some men are so caught up in just leading that they become domineering and they don't appreciate that the purpose of having a woman is to see your blind spots. Having a woman is like peripheral vision. And a lot of men don't understand that because they've bought into and they've been told that the man is the head of the household, and they don't understand what that means. They think that means the man is a dictator, like a tyrant. They don't understand that being the leader means you also are a good follower, means that you have a servant's heart, means that you are humble and you can hear the opinions of your team, and then you can move forward with that. And so some people don't understand that. Lady Hustler, Tony, can you talk about keeping your wife attention, meaning 3 B's for the guys? When did you come to realize that you need to spice it up and keep your wife's attention? Never, because a woman is created for love. So if as a woman you have to assess and see, because as a man we misread cues all the time. So for me as a husband, I let my wife lead in the area she wants spice, because what I could think is spice, she could think is gasoline and fire. And so I just create a safe space, meaning by being loving, being caring, being affectionate, and creating a safe space so that she can rest in her feminine, taking care of the bills, taking care, making sure she have money to do what she need to do. And I go to no end. I go to no end. I create, just like my new company, Billionaire Labs, wealthofhealth.com. That's a new venture. That's another stream of income. Just another way for me to be able to take care of my family, create something that people already use every day. And that's what a man will do, is create a safe space so that when you and your husband, y'all get on in there, if you want to whip something out, you can whip something out because you comfortable, you relaxed, you feeling good. But it's kind of dangerous for a man to get out here, and because he might think what you calling spice, he might literally think you want some of that 50 Shades of Gray. And next thing you know, you going to work with blue and purple around your neck, and people trying to call the law thinking you going through something. They telling the work counselor on you. And that really was what he thought was the spice you needed. So it's really about communicating and expressing what you need. And so for me, I would ask my wife early in our marriage, I would say, hey, what do you need from me? And I would say, well, okay, this is what I need from you. Or I would tell her, hey, this is what I need from you. What do you need from me? And what I realized is that one hand washed the other and both hands wash the face. Because I would say, hey, I need more intimacy. And she would say, okay, I need more quality time. She was like, okay, you on your BlackBerry. That was back when BlackBerry was in. She said, you on your BlackBerry all day, nonstop. You doing emails all day long. And then you just want to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. She was like, I need you to put your phone down, look me in my face, and talk to me for 30 minutes. But I was, a young man who was accustomed to just treating women like a piece of meat. So I didn't understand quality time and attention and all of those things, physical touch and words of affirmation. So through that conversation of trying to be a leader, trying to be the husband, I was able to communicate and then figure out what my wife needs. But then what I also learned is that humans are selfish, and that humans, we easy to get complacent. We get complacent easy. So I could cater, or the woman could cater, the man could cater, and the man could be catering to the woman, and then the woman kick her feet up. She getting back rubs every night. She getting food cooked. She getting feet rubbed, and still ain't coming off of no, but don't. And the man like, whoa, I'm doing all this right here. And then vice versa. The woman could be cooking. She could be doing this, doing that, and still ain't getting affection throughout the day. Still not getting sweet text messages. And so that's where communication, that's one more quote that you see online sometimes. It say, oxygen to life is, communication to a relationship is like oxygen to life. Chris, the gummies is pre-order, so they don't get here till next Monday, but they good. I ain't gonna sell nothing, no trash now. They good. I already had the elderberry gummies, and they $21. You don't waste more money than that on Pornhub. So just get some gummies. And black folks always trying to check on the black people business. And then the white man, give me all that. They're all kind of whey protein, all kind of creatine, your liver toe up, and then you want to inspect. Yeah, I got chemists and doctors and FDA certified manufacturer. Man, you had the gummies. Yeah. I done had the gummies. Well, now, Chris, get on there now, wealthofhealth.com, and get you some good favor in your life. So when you launch your supplement company, the Lord bless it. We done sold about 300 bottles. I only got 1,000 bottles of this first one because the factory I'm working with, I just want to, test them out, make sure everything on the up and up. Got some samples coming of another formula from another manufacturer. Gonna see how those is. So before I really start launching it. But I like these first one though. They ain't too much. It's not too heavy. It ain't too crazy. Some people trying to put thousands of milligrams in something. So it ain't too crazy. It's kid safe too. How do you compromise beliefs in relationship? I.e., I'm Christian and the guy that wants to marry me is not and doesn't adhere to religious views. He's just into spirituality. Now, if you asking me, I would tell you that's the wrong relationship. I'm just give Chris this little nugget of advice from Sharifa. Like, boy, black folk, boy, we be holding each other to the fire, boy. Make it white and red. Brother, if my brother released some elderberry gummy, even I don't take the gummies, I'm gonna buy it just to support a black man in that space. I'm gonna support. I throw the gummies in the trash. Get to the homeless man out there. Let him get a little vitamin C and zinc in his system. We just have to change the way we think about that thing. Miss Jennifer, God bless you. You don't compromise. If you asking me, you don't compromise your religious beliefs, because see, your religion is your foundation. That's your foundation. That is what you build your life on. So that's no different than you sleeping with Satan. And that's the thing that women do wrong. That's kind of like a man. That's kind of like a woman telling a man, hey, I'm a HO. I understand that you are not a HO and you're not into HOs, but I'm a HO. That man gonna use you and leave you. And so when a man tells you he's not a Christian and you a Christian, that's no different than a woman telling a man she is a piece of trash and not worth marrying. That's what that sounds like to me. When a man say he don't believe in your God, he don't follow what you follow, y'all got different, then you can't build on two different foundations. You know, you're not gonna build a house on solid rock and the other side is just dirt and it ain't got no foundation laid. You're gonna lay that concrete foundation and then you're gonna build upon that firm foundation. And you never see a house where half of it got a foundation and the other half is no foundation. It'll be unequally yoked. It's uneven, it's unleveled, and it's insecure. And you can't settle, because if you are a Christian and you truly believe in God, then you know God got for you what you need. Because the Bible says God tempts no man. So meaning God not finna send you a non-believer, because God is not the author of confusion. So that right there is a trick of Satan. Because what Satan is saying is, hey, do you value dang-a-lang over God? A Christian being with a non-Christian is no different than if Jesus would have took Satan up on his offer after he came out of his 40-day, 40-night fast. And Satan offered him everything. And you can have all this. Everything your eyes could see is yours if you will bow down to me. That's what you're doing when you are a Christian and you choose to be with a non-Christian. You're bowing down to Satan. You saying, hey, bring this spiritual warfare, this unequally yoked. That's what unequally yoked mean. Unequally yoked don't mean you white and they black. Unequally yoked don't mean you like spaghetti and they like steak. Unequally yoked mean y'all do not serve the same God. That's what unequally yoked is. So you got to realize and understand that. Y'all put hashtag Q in front of your question. A guy that I'm interested in, he is asking about me to my cousin many times on how I am doing. What does it mean? Is he shy to approach me directly? He could like your cousin, to be honest with you, and that's just a conversation piece, and he's shy to shoot his shot at her. But if he wants you, he could. He definitely. One thing a man ain't scared of is a woman. So he ain't shy to approach you. He like that conversation with your cousin. That's what that is. The Holy Bible. That's the only way you're gonna know if a man gonna be faithful, if he fear God. I personally don't trust a human who don't fear God. If somebody don't respect and reverence the Lord, I really don't want nothing to do with them. Male or female, meaning in business, in friendship, in nothing. I will love you from a distance. If somebody do not respect and reverence and fear the Lord, because it's a guideline, it's principles and promises. That's what the Bible is, principles and promises, but it also is repercussions. And so that's how I judge people, based on their heart for God. If you ain't got that, wow, look at that. Now I don't know how they claim that there. Joya gifted 5 Tony Gaston memberships. I don't know how y'all claim that. Now maybe when y'all, maybe if you click join, the first 5 people that click join get to claim it. Men lie about their age because of the age they think you are and how they read you. So if he reads you and he feel like you like younger men, he gonna say he younger. If he feel like you like older men, but he's lying about his age because he's not looking for anything serious with you. He's looking to date you and sleep with you. A man who is looking for his wife is not gonna come with any lies. He might have some exaggerations, like stretching the truth. Like he averaged 20 points a game in high school versus the 10 that he averaged. He might exaggerate, but he's not gonna come with lies if he's looking for something. Yep, Kenya, this another lie. Appreciate that support, Chris. I done had them, but as you know, with these gummies, they hit or miss. When you go to GNC and what's called, I've been going there and picking up the gummies, looking at my competition for when I get put in the stores. Man, you can't even shake them gummies. Them gummies sat in there, and it's in Walgreens and CVS. You can't even move them gummies. They done stuck together. So you know how it is with gummies, ain't? But these here, what I had, they were good. So that's why I did it. Went with this here manufacturer, let them get my formula together. I've been with my boyfriend for almost a year. We have been discussing marriage. I'm nervous about living with a man. How do you settle in the ebbs and flows of life with your spouse and not be annoying? You fall in love first. If you fall in love first, then everything else take care of itself. So what y'all have to focus on when y'all discussing marriage and y'all together, y'all have to focus on talking every day, at least an hour a day, and going on a date at least once a week. Don't be spending money. Like just go to the park and walk. Go get a thing of ice cream. Like y'all could cook and eat on y'all own at your own place, or one of y'all could cook, bring it, and y'all go sit out somewhere that's nice, no mosquitoes, and just y'all eat, that little pasta or whatever that heat up well, or that you'd have made sandwiches like that. Be responsible with this, because a lot of people, like my wife asked me the other night, she was like, hey, you want to go on a date? Because I've been locked in, working, focusing, working on my companies and stuff. And so she see me locked in. So she said, hey, you want to go on a date? We went on a date to this little rooftop restaurant. It cost $300. I tipped 30%. They had already added 20%. So I added another 10%. And so it came to $265. And then where the place was, you got a valet park, and the valet parking was $43. So that already put me at $308. And then I tipped $10 to the valet person. So that was $318. Now we do that like once a week. So, because few days before that, we went to the movies, and it was probably like $150, because you order the food in there, and the food came out. Sometimes food be about it was one or something, 100 or something like that. And then the ticket was about 40. And so I'm like, man, okay, this is what, when a genuine man says he's not ready for marriage financially, this is what he's talking about. Because I'm like, here we going to a place that's on our level. Like, we don't want to just go to a hole in the wall, or we don't want to just go eat terrible food. So we go to a nice place, nice little ambiance, and it cost me $320. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? Like, the average man can't afford this. Like, this is a lot of money. And I feel this, like, I'm mad about this. And I earn 7 figures and I'm mad about this. So I'm like, man, imagine this young man who trying to impress this young lady, and he take her out on a date and she got an appetite on her. And she want to sit there and holler about she want the lobster and she want the raganoo and she want the dapaloo and she want this kind of upside down cocktail. It's like he's sitting over there clenching his booty, about to have gas on himself because of he calculating that bill. So think about that. If you want to date, and this is what I want y'all ladies to understand, because a lot of y'all don't be realizing this, and I see a lot of bobblehead women online that be going viral about men too cheap to date. And it's like, man, do you see the prices out here? Like, a man take a woman on a nice date every week, that's a $1,200 a month bill, and you just can't expect nobody to be doing that. And so that's why if you want to be married as a woman and you want a real man who is going to be a leader, you have to get out of these hoochie mama Jezebel women online talking about a man disrespecting you if he take you to Cheesecake Factory or if he take you on a coffee date. That is the dumbest, stupidest advice that you will ever receive in your life. And any of y'all that's on my channel with that dumbness, stay out my comments. That is stupid, because it is hard to live out here. We are suffering from inflation. The people who study finances and real estate, they say we not finna go through a recession. We finna be in a depression. They say unless the government prop up the economy, this is finna be worse than the 1930 Great Depression. And I'm seeing it. People do not have money. People be writing in asking, can I cancel their Blessed Tribe membership? Because they think I got something to do with it. You sign up on YouTube, that's between you and Google, for $1.99 a month. So that's how real it is out here. So I want y'all to understand now, and I'm just going off on this right here about this dating, is for those ladies out there that's dating, appreciate a man that want to go have a cupcake and a coffee now, because one thing that lets you know about that man is he's financially responsible. 9 out of 10 times, if you date a man that's going to spend $200 every date, you're going to be getting cheated on, because he big Willie and he like to live lavish. Unless he just all the way got it now. If he's not a millionaire and you look over at that bill and that bill crossing 100 every time y'all go out, and he not a millionaire, you about to be getting cheated on because he do too much. But one thing, if women get tired of a frugal man or call it a cheap man, that's the type of man that you ain't got to worry about going through no repossessed cars and foreclosed houses, because he gonna be by this money. Now, I'm not that type of man. Me, bill collectors calling me right now. Hey, you'll get it when I get it. When I get round to it. I'm investing in myself right now. Use a bank. You can wait. After I invest in myself and I flip my money, then I'll pay you and I'll give you a little late fee. So I'm different. But that's how my wife feels too, though. You know, she grew up to where mom is an immigrant. And so my wife wasn't even born here. So they understood, like, everything gonna be laid out for you when you going in a new country and you trying to build it. You may have some struggles you may have to go through. So my wife, my whole life, she never tripped on finances. Like, wherever we was financially, she was okay with it. If it's ramen noodles, she with it. If it's McDonald's, if it's 99-cent menu, she with it. If it's WIC, food stamps, she was with it, because she had already experienced the struggle. Like, it didn't scare her. But today, it's a lot of delusional women that don't understand money. And it's so many women that be broke by themselves, and then want a man to have all this money and just to be willy-nilly and just so comfortable spending hundreds of dollars on a date when almost every woman I talk to is strapped for cash and trying to figure it out. That's the human existence. That right there. So you got to understand that. But to answer your question, sister, you just got to fall in love. And falling in love take time. Now, typically for a man, it take about 2 years for a good man to fall in love. It take about 2 years. 1 year, or some men can fall in love inside a year, but that's when you are his prototype. Like if he sat with God when God was doing your DNA and he had some input, that's when a man will fall in love under a year. But other than that, just the way a man's heart works, it's gonna take about 2 years for a man to fall in love. That's why you can't be in no rush to get married. And cause see, if you are in love, then when he see your tampon, because you might take that tampon out and you might roll it up in the tissue, but if you 30 minutes late for work, you might not put enough plies on it. You might have that Scott's tissue that is cheap. And so you done wrapped it up. You ain't flush it because your toilet, your water pressure ain't that strong, and you don't want the tampon to turn into a parachute and clog up the toilet. And then now he got to be coming and pumping blood. So you wrap it, but you got Scott's tissue. The tissue that your fingers bust through when you wiping your booty. So now with that Scott's tissue, you throw that on top of the trash. Now it's a crime scene. If he have not fell in love with you, relationship over. Relationship over. It's over with. When you go to sleep at night and you've been holding gas in all day because you're trying to be ladylike, you close your eyes and it's go to sounding like FAMU marching band. You don't even know it. But that's the human existence. When you start living with people, that's when you learn that. You learn sometimes if somebody been holding gas when they go to sleep. Bed be vibrate. You like, my goodness. If he ain't fell in love, relationship over with. Relationship over with. So that's why, and a lot of women don't understand this, because you meet a man who need help. He don't need love, he need help. So he want to move in. One thing men are, on average, is frugal. Lack of a better word, cheap. So one thing a man be ready to do is move in to split them bills down the middle. To have a roommate. A man be wanting a roommate. But a lot of men want a roommate with a vajay and not a dang-a-lang. So if he could live with his homeboy, but he want the perks. He want to be friends with benefits. So he want to live, you pay half of the rent, he pay half of the rent, or he pay all the rent and you pay all the other bills, he's still saving money. And if he have not fallen in love, when he go see the just day-to-day, it'll turn that stomach both ways. After relationship has ended because of cheating, why do men feel the need to keep calling and texting? Because boundaries were broken and it was ended. It's just a soul tie. That's all it is. It's just, that's why I tell you, like, men are more attached than women, in the sense of we need more help than a woman. Like, even when you look at life, it's a lot of, you'll meet a lot of women who will have a story like they were the mom at 13. Like they was cooking and cleaning at like 13 years old, 15 years old. But when most men you meet, if they was cooking and cleaning at a young age, they gay now. And I'm not saying gay in a derogatory sense or in a bad way, but a lot of men who were cooking and cleaning with moms and all that, they gay now. You really don't meet you. It's some men who are like chefs and things of that nature, and they could cook and clean, and they tapped into the feminine, and the feminine didn't take over. But on average, for a man, a man really is not, most men are not too domesticated. It's kind of like it's different because of society and how we are, the gender roles. And so what you have to realize is men are more needy. And the men who are not needy, they almost become non-committal and never get married. Like most married men are because we needy. We need support. We need a spouse. We need somebody. Like I work and I make money and I take care of my family and I do what my wife need me to do. I lift what's too heavy. I open what's too tight. I do all those type of things, but she is a support system for me. She helps me a lot. Like she do all the dishes. She do all the shopping. She do all the laundry. Like she does things that I don't have to do. She be like, and if I wanted to do it, she be like, no, I got it because I don't like the way you do it. I'm like, okay, all right. Now I've been seeing online with y'all feminist movement that the man supposed to be working and making all the money and coming home and cooking and cleaning. So I just ain't know if that's what you were watching online too. And if I need to make 7 figures and then come home and cook and clean, and because women be saying that in the comment. Well, Tony, why don't you help your wife with the cookie? It's like, what do I look like? Oh, well, I'm not finna be doing all of that. It's like at that point, I might as well marry myself. At that point, I don't need no wife then. If I got to do everything, if I got to go out and make 7 figures and then come home and cook and clean, I'm like, man, that's why you single. And that's why my wife married, because she don't feel like I got to do that. It's a lady, she wrote us, she wanted us to be part of her book. And she was like, well, yeah, and how do you, Cherie, how do you get Tony involved and have him doing stuff around the house so that you don't feel, like a maid? And it's like, for one, you change your mindset. Don't look at it like a maid. This your house. This your ownership. Like, but it was a Caucasian. And that's why a lot of people is going to Caucasian men. And I talked to a Caucasian man. I said, so you a millionaire and your wife doesn't work, but you also have a chef and a nanny. And she don't have a budget. He said, yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. I said, I'd be doggone. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But he said, that's how it goes. I'm saying, so she don't have to clean. And then he told me, this is a white man now. He's on his second marriage. He told me, he said, she don't even do our daughter's hair. He said, I got to get up and put our daughter's hair in a ponytail and take our daughters to school. Now he a billionaire now. Meaning he could touch hundreds of millions right now, but worth billions. I said, that don't sound like no fair deal now. So this is the thing, what I try to tell y'all is it's go both ways. The advice go both ways, because the adversary, what the devil come to do is steal, kill, and destroy. So he's going to create delusional men and he's going to create delusional women. And then if you have deluded people, they can't come together because they both delusional. So it becomes war instead of love. Because what the man wants is unrealistic and what the woman wants is unrealistic. And that's what got to be realized. So here comes this lady, she's writing this book, and she literally was saying that a woman don't have to work and the man have to work, but then the man also have to come and help with the house. If the woman had all day at the house by herself. And I'm like, now that right there don't go together. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. We're not finna be part of y'all feminist movement. But guess what though? The men who live like that, like women will look and they assume, oh, this woman ain't got no budget. I say, you know what else she ain't got? A faithful husband. Because a man not finna take no L. He not taking no L. So you get all the lobster and pasta you want and don't gotta work and get to get Louis Vuitton and Birkin bag. And you know what he getting? Bumblebee triple X. Every time he hit that road, Bumblebee triple X in that hotel turning tricks. There's not no man who finna give the absolute entire world and expect no type of reciprocation, no type of acts of service, and all of that right there. So I want y'all to know that now and realize that the lies that be told to y'all online. And the thing about it is, and don't go to thinking that, oh, well, such and such, this race over here do that. No, everybody got their issues. Everybody got their issues. And men need it. So you know what? When I talked to that man and he said that his wife basically had to stop doing whatever, wasn't helping around the house, wasn't really doing nothing. He say, it's on now. He said, I get to do what I want to do. Sleep with anything I want to sleep with. He said, I'm living how I want to live. I said, all right. Okay. I already know that though. I already know that. What much is given, much is required. I'm trying to tell you. And it's a lady, she did go viral with a video about being a kept woman. She was like, a lot of women say they want a high value man, the worldly sense, meaning a lot of money. And she said, y'all don't understand what come with that. She said, a man not finna be earning all this money and you just laid in the shade. He gonna want a certain level of treatment and a certain level of respect, certain level of understanding. You ain't just laid in the shade, soft life, spas and Starbucks and Porsches and Pilates without having to put no work in one area or another. And that right there is the lies that's being perpetrated. So when a woman go meet a man and he say, hey, you know, let's meet at Starbucks, she up in arms and she upset because he didn't say, let's meet at Roof Chris or Prime 112. And it's like, that man don't know you. You could be a prostitute. Like, he got to get to know you first before he go to just splurging on some money. And so that be the delusion. But what it be is, it be a sense of entitlement, and it's from Satan. If you notice, entitlement is from Satan, not from God. You read your Bible. The Bible tell you to be humble, be lowly at heart. You know, you kind, you're gentle, you're patient, you're loving, you're understanding, all those things, the fruits of the spirit. But the way we moving in love and relationships is we moving with entitlement. We entitled, we jealous, we comparing. And we don't, like, I see some women that every week they posting a new Chanel bag, new Birkin bag, and all of that. And my wife be seeing it too. Sometimes she'll show it to me. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You see her guy? You can't read men, can you? Okay. Yeah. You think he buying the Birkins and Chanel for nothing? That man out here flipping and tossing. That man out here beating the lining out these scripples. Like, that's an NBA player. What you think he doing on the road? Reading the book? No. Absolutely not. He don't even make that kind of money for her to have all them Chanels and Birkins. He's not LeBron James. And LeBron James wife ain't even got all of that online. So a lot of times you have to be able to make sure that you're not allowing social media to dictate and determine. This ain't about this question right here now. For those y'all just popping on here, to dictate and determine your relationship, because you can't believe nothing you see online. You can't believe nothing you see. Sometimes the happier we look online, the more depressed we are in real life. And the more basic and regular we look online, the happier we are in life. It's just the juxtaposition. And you got to realize and just understand that. Can't believe what you see. Hey, now I got to coach in 40 minutes. And see, this is how I be working. Now, if I ain't coaching, then I'm on here doing this here talking, or I'm working on one of my business. I'm putting that off for a little bit because I got to do soccer practice tonight. And this stuff now, you get a little tired now, and I'm fasting right now, but not religious fast. So that's how I could talk about it. In the Bible, when you fasting religiously, you're not supposed to talk about it. For those of y'all who didn't know, when you read your Bible, it say don't walk around looking sick and all that. Like, get up and look good and present yourself right. Like, don't do fasting for attention, the religious fasting. Me, I'm just body fasting, just like detoxing, eating bad over the weekend. So I ain't eat yesterday. I ain't eat day yet either. It's 2:21. So I'm trying to get through the day. I was gonna do a dry fast today, but my wife made me a coffee. So I had to go ahead and accept that gift. You can't turn down your wife's gift now. Do you think it's okay to have boundaries with my mom? She thinks my sister and I are jealous of her. She talks to me like I'm a stranger on the streets. I try to have adult combos, but no accountability. It's definitely okay to have boundaries with your mama. That is definitely okay. You definitely got to have boundaries with your mama. 100%. Because some people is crazy. Some people is just crazy. And I see that all the time as a life coach. It is very common. It's very normal. And one of the biggest, most contentious relationships that I've found as a observer of people is mother and daughter. I've never seen two human be in more contention than mother and daughter. It's worse than man and woman, because man and woman are actually opposites, like two different genders, and are out to win. But when it's mother and daughter, that's when it's just the worst. It's so sad because it's like, this young lady come out of you. Like, how can you be so nasty and disrespectful and combative and controlling? And then I have met some women who are best friends with their mama, live with their mama, get along great. And their mom has healed from her trauma, and she's rare. She could change if the daughter end up getting married. So sometimes it is misery loves company, and it just doesn't look like misery. But so sometimes it is that, but then sometimes it's just genuine love and respect. And I've seen mothers and daughters, not a lot. I probably could count on my two hands that are like best friends, but you can have boundaries with any human being, even your spouse. Like, if your spouse go to disrespecting you, getting out slick out the mouth and all of that, taking you for granted, you need to set boundaries there too. Just let them know that if they don't change, then okay, it's about to come null and void. And the Lord know your heart, and He'll love you and forgive you, and you move on with your life. He forgive murderers. He'll forgive you for letting somebody go who don't treat you like His child. And so, like the child of the Lord, you got to set boundaries with your parents, and what they'll know, what you teach humans how to treat you by what you stop, what you allow, and what you reinforce. So if somebody could talk to you like a stray dog, and then you keep talking to them, then they gonna know they could keep treating you like that, because you recognizing the behavior and you reinforcing the behavior. And any behavior that is recognized and rewarded or reinforced, it will repeat itself. And not only will it repeat itself, it may also intensify and get worse. So you have to think about that when you're dealing with people. And a lot of times people are bound by blood. One of the tricks of Satan is to cause stress and worry and pain and angst and fear and unhappiness and depression in the lives of people by their own family members, by their own loved ones. And that's why the Bible speaks about Jesus being a sword and speaks about the word rightly dividing, and that mother will be against daughter, father will be against son in the last days, because there will be a line drawn in the sand. And so you have to understand that when you trying to walk right and do the right thing, and you trying to grow and evolve and be a better person, not everybody want that for you. And not everybody is willing to go there for you. So for me personally, what I have learned is anybody could get cut off. Anybody could get cut off. And you can't reinforce maladaptive behavior, because it will repeat itself. And so you got to, what you do is, when your mama texts you, just ignore it. Just let us sit on red for 24 hours. When you write her back, you respectful and you cordial, but it's 5 words or less. She call you, don't answer. Let her leave a voicemail. And then when she will start to self-correct. She'll realize, like, oh, I'm being ignored. What did I do to her? Now she might be body like the No Limit Soldiers and confront you and say, what's going on? What's your problem? Why you got your head up your butt or your panties in a wad? And then you speak truth to power. You don't yell, you don't curse, and you say, Mom, I just think that it's absurd that you think my sister and I are jealous of you. That is the last thing on earth that I would ever be. And that's if me and you were the last 2 people here. I love you more than life itself. And that's why I'm even talking to you right now. And I also don't appreciate the way you talk to me. And if you continue to push this narrative and speak to me the way you do, I will love you from a distance. I will never disrespect you, because the Bible says honor your mother and father. So I will be respectful to you, but I just will not deal with you. I will love you from a distance and turn you over to the Lord. And you got to speak truth to power. And you got to let, and this for any loved one, spouse, mama, daddy, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, daughter. And some people are forever the victim. You could say anything you want to say to them. You could tell them exactly how you feel and how you feel they treat you, and they will be the victim. Some people will always be the victim. They will never own up to their mistakes, and they will never validate and respect how you feel. And when you notice that, then that's when you got to keep it moving. Chevelle, you missed that earlier. Somebody already did it. And Jesus paid it all. He is about to introduce me to his 19-year-old daughter. Does this mean he may be considering me for marriage? I wouldn't go that far. Marriage. He is considering bringing you around and being somewhat serious about you. But the one thing that you never know is the type of relationship that men have with the family women, the women in their family. You never know. So like for me, growing up, I was able to take any woman around my mama, and she didn't really care. And it was a lot of moms that I knew that didn't really care, because it was kind of taught and reinforced for a man to sow his wild oats. Now, my mama never said that, but it was just kind of like, find your way. Like, got to meet women, date around. It may take you some time to find the one. And then even at that, the women in a man's life will rarely like the woman that the man bring home. So you meeting his 19-year-old daughter could be the end of y'all relationship. And then some men, what we will do, for whatever reason, we will put family members in a wife position. Not in an incestual way, but in an emotional way. So some men take care of the women in their family like they should take care of a wife. And when a wife comes in the picture, now it becomes war between the wife and the women in the man family. And it's because he has enabled them and taken care of them to that level instead of letting them grow and learn and spread their wings and get it how they live. And then some men will also put the women in his family in a position of power for whatever reason to say, hey, I'm gonna bring this woman around so you can evaluate her and you can tell me what you think of her. And some men are so afraid of a commitment and so unbeknownst to the ways of the world, the ways of a woman, that he actually will lean on the insight and advice from a woman that he knows, loves, and trusts. And that woman could be speaking from the wrong place, but he wouldn't even know that because he doesn't know how to evaluate women. So he could take the advice of his mom or his daughter or his sister or whoever and get rid of a woman in his life, not realizing is they just want to keep him to themselves so that when they need money and support, ain't nobody else taking the money. And a lot of men don't realize that. But see, me, I read the Holy Bible. And the Holy Bible say a man will forsake his mother and father and cleave to his wife. So if it's telling me that I'm going to forsake my mother and father and cleave to my wife, then that let me know that already encompass sister, cousin, auntie. Ain't nobody getting in the way of me and my wife. And so what I let my mama and my sister know, if you disrespect my wife, you disrespected me. And if you can't talk to my wife, you can't talk to me. And what my wife say goes, because this is who I chose to have my children. And that right there mean more to me than anything. Because mama, you done already had me. And sister, I don't owe you nothing. Because your parents brought you in the world, not me. So, and you got a man. So that's who will be your covering. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And the Lord say a man will forsake his mother and father and cleave to his wife. The Bible say a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. I'm not finna be out of line with the Lord and mess up my favor because I'm trying to please other women in my family who want to be in competition with my wife. So I had let my mom and my sister know that early, real early. Like, listen, you'll get cut off. Because all I could do is love you. And I love you from a distance. But this woman right here, she take precedent because she can birth my children. And because I'm making a covenant to her under God. I don't have to make a covenant under God to my sister and to my mama or to my auntie or my female cousin. But I make a covenant under God. And that's where he gives me favor from finding a wife. Now, honor your mother and father, your days will be long upon the earth. So never will I be disrespectful. But also, I will not allow a family member to get in the way of my marriage, male or female. Let me see. Got the coach in 26 minutes. Y'all got to forgive me. I got a client on my text program. So I got a text program for individuals who be needing help day to day. One day I'll probably turn into a business for all coaches. Nikki, God bless you. Okay, I seen that one. If y'all missed that one, got to watch the video again. I feel like I can't get my happy. I have family, no man, my choice, but I feel like I'm not happy. I have a good job, etc. What's really going on? Well, think about it. You know, you say you have no man and that's your choice, but you're not happy. So that sounds like a bad choice. Because what was a woman created for? For a man. When God made Eve, he made her for a sole purpose. And our society has forced women to get a job, to climb the corporate ladder, to be boss babes, boss chicks, and all of that. But that ain't what a woman was created for. That's what a woman adapted to. A woman was not created to have to be more masculine than she is feminine, or to have to do all of those things. But a woman has a brain and she's able to adapt to whatever hand she is dealt. But the adversary, Satan, is pushing a narrative to women that a job and a house means more than a husband. And a lot of women don't realize that it's a trick of Satan to do things like buy a house when you want a husband or you want to be married. And another thing that I noticed that women do is a lot of women lie to themselves and tell themselves that they don't want a man just because they haven't met the man. So in order to satiate the feeling of longing, a woman will say, I don't want a man, and that's my choice, or I don't need a man. But it's really because she hasn't fixed her mind and renewed her mind to understand that she can long for love and long for a husband and desire a husband in love and not have it right now and still be complete, still be full. That it doesn't make her a failure or incomplete just because she hasn't met the love of her life, that she is complete in God. And so that's where the word come in. But if a woman don't read the word, then she will convince herself that she does not want something just because she cannot obtain it in this season. And that right there, that denial could also lead to unhappiness. Because if you're doing what you want to do and you're making the choices you truly want to make, then you will have happiness. Because happiness is a choice. Like joy. People get into the semantics of happiness and joy, but our brain don't know the difference. It's all the same thing. It's just semantics. Happiness is a choice. Joy is a choice. And so if you have what you have chosen, then you have to choose happiness. And if you're not choosing happiness, then no change you make will make you happy. No matter what you go through, you have to choose happiness. No matter what your bank account looking like, how much debt you got, who's not talking to you, who you not talking to, what you have and what you don't have, you have to choose happiness. And when you choose happiness, your life gonna change. Chosen one, you don't want no man like me now. Street guys ain't had it easy. Took a lot. I would want to wait till marriage, but I have the desire to be intimate with men I've met. I don't want to have these thoughts, have to have a stronger mind because it's very easy for me to give in. Yeah, you need to, what you need to do, Summer, you need to read your Bible. You go to the New Testament and read 2 chapters a day. And then after you get through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, understanding Jesus' story, and you're going to see him talk to the women that is, in sex sin and condemn that and forgive them, but also tell them to go and sin no more. Then you'll get into the instruction for life. And you really need to get that because it's a book of wisdom. And you need that wisdom in your life because all you feeling is spiritual warfare. All you feeling is loneliness and abandonment. And men will be intimate to have sex and women will have sex to be intimate. And so what you really want is acceptance and love. It's not even about sex, but you have conditioned your mind to believe that sex brings intimacy and love. And so, and it probably comes from something that happened in your past. And when those type of things happen, a man could see that. So just like the other lady who had that low cut shirt, you got you a low cut shirt on. And so when you had a low cut shirt and you have, you know, your breast hanging like that, look like with no bra, and then your arms out, that sent a message to a man that say, hey, come here, come on, get this here. And it goes in line with what you said about yourself. So what you have to do is be renewed in Christ. You got to renew your mind. And when you renew your mind, you throw out the things of old and you start to do the things of new, and you become a new creature. So you're going to dress different. You're going to talk different. You're going to walk different, not literally, but you're going to present different, and you're going to start to receive different. And so it's really just, it's a mindset shift that you have to have. And that will come from just having that. Would you have a problem with your sons bringing an ex on to you for your blessing? Yeah, I would have a problem with that. Not that she can't change or anything, but I would help them understand that if that's what she did publicly and people know that and know about her, she might have demons that they can't cure. And yes, she can change and she could grow, but she could also be with a man who used to do the same thing and he has changed and grown. But I teach my son to save themselves until marriage, so I wouldn't encourage them to save themselves and then go get into spiritual warfare, because sometimes spirits can hide and the spirit can lay low until it sink its teeth in you, get its claws in you, and then that spirit take over. So I bless her with the Holy Bible and give her a reading plan and tell my son to support her on the phone, on text message, and how encourage her to start an app for all the ex on and are, so that they could do matchmaking after they renewed and changed their life. Or I tell them to let her go to one of these men who they into that type of stuff and that's what they want to marry. Because it's some men that they don't really want no woman that has saved herself and done all that. They want a woman who done been out there and gonna flip and toss in that bedroom. Single mom with no time to date with a 4-year-old, is it best to just sit out of the dating pool for a while? Jersey girl, you new here. And God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Glad to have you here. But yes, you should never date with a child under 5 years old, period. And really a child that is not like extroverted enough to spill the beans and tell you their business. And not date, but you shouldn't bring nobody around your child. Now you could date. You could, as a grown-up, you can have your mama or daddy watching your child. I only recommend care.com these days. You can have somebody you know, love, and trust watching your child, and you could go out to the restaurant, to the movie, to the skating, to the whatever bowling alley and date, but you keep that person separate from your child until you fully know this person. And it might take about 12 months. People do not follow that at all. People don't follow that advice, and that's why it's so many children that are I don't know what book y'all talking about. Someone talking about a book. There's so many children that are, being violated because people bring their boyfriend or girlfriend around too soon. Got about 10, 15 more minutes now. Got a coaching session coming up. Said loved how I carried myself, how I kept him on his toes, and that I was very different from others dated. Also said I was hard to read. I came off as uninterested. I said, showed I was, vibe changed. No, Yeah, I mean, that's a compliment. All that he said is a compliment. But vibe change could mean that he wants somebody to sleep with. He don't want a test. He don't want a challenge. He don't want a wife. He wants somebody to sleep with. And so that's what you got to realize. It's, a man can appreciate you and respect you without being with you. So you got to realize and understand that just because a man says nice things about you don't mean he want to marry you, because not every man want to be married, and not every man will feel like you his wife. So you might be all those things, but he don't feel you his wife. Like Bruce say, that looks good on you. So that could be the thing to where it's like, okay, you all of that and you somebody wife, but you ain't his wife. And so you always got to look at what you being shown. You can't get caught up. You got to look at what you being shown. Y'all got to forgive me, charge my phone a little bit for my session. What do you do when you are raising a son whose dad can do no wrong? He sees his mother being disrespected. You want to tell the mother to take her child and run, but to each his own. Yeah, I mean, tell the mama to take her child and run, but at the end of the day, you got to mind your business. I mean, you can tell her what you want to tell her, but you'll mess around and get hands put on you. So you got to be careful with that. If it ain't your business, sometimes you can't mind it. Me, I like to get in people's business and tell people. It has never worked out for me. It ain't never worked out for me. It helped me understand why Hollywood does not accept unsolicited manuscripts or screenplays. I mean, it just, people do not accept unsolicited advice. Like you will listen on here because you coming on here to hear advice. But if I just offer advice in your life and you ain't never come checking for me to ask for my advice, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. And so I've always given unsolicited advice, trying to help people, and don't nobody listen until it's too late. I ain't never seen nobody listen. People who know, love me, and trust me don't even listen. It's just how people is if it's unsolicited. He's 35, I'm 42, and had 3 dates. Is he too young to expect something serious? I believe he is having intimacy with another woman. We have not been intimate. Should I continue to date? Because you can continue to date until you see something worth not dating, and you just can't jump to conclusions. One thing, a woman has intuition, so you could listen to your intuition. And if you truly feel like, okay, he's sleeping around and all of that, then okay, that's one thing. But you just got to make sure you're not jumping to conclusions. And he is, 7 years younger than you. So sometimes that's a fetish a man has. What should I think about a man who trades out his car often? Did not do this when we first met. It just men. I do the same thing. I drive a car about 2 years and get rid of it. It's just liking something new. And it's either he trading cars or women. So got to be happy it's a car. Men like stuff new now. Men like something different. So it be cars or women. So you got to pick your poison. In this economy, would you advise a 20 something to move out to find her true self outside of family influence and grow with God? Alternative solution. If you can afford it, yeah. Like if you got a good paying job and you can afford to rent your apartment somewhere in a nice area, like you got a guard or a gate or a reception downstairs where people can't get up without a card, or with talking to the front desk, and you can afford it comfortably, then yes. But when it comes to growing and getting to know God, you got to be able to do that anywhere. So if all you can afford right now, and the economy might get worse in 6 months to 12 months if it don't get propped up by the government, and so apartments might start running specials. So if they ain't running 2 months off specials right now in your city, they about to start. In about 6 months, they about to start 2 months off. No credit check, no application fee, because they want to feel it. And then go in there and negotiate. Say, okay, I'll do this now, but I need this rate got to get locked in, or I ain't gonna be able to move in. And if it don't work out in your favor in the way you want it to, then just go on, stay home and get to know the Lord in your room. And don't worry about your family. Sometimes you just got to. Made the mistake of telling my current boyfriend my past, has not thrown it in my face yet. What can I do moving forward? Well, it's your boyfriend, so it's still new, but it ain't nothing you can do now. You already did. You got the game too late. Some of y'all find the channel too late. Ain't nothing you can do. Just don't tell him nothing else. Don't keep on telling it, and don't let him bring it up and harp on it. Oh, so yeah, tell me again what you said. Listen, I don't want to talk about that. That's the past. That I'm a new person. I'm healing. I'm growing. I'm living my life. I'm not talking about your past. So I don't want to talk about mine, because I'm sure you got a past that you ain't telling me about. So whenever you think about my past, I want you to think about your past and just realize we ain't too different. However you say it, but just keep them out your business. Christianology, a nose piercing also box you in as a woman. It does. It does. Everything we do could box us in. Let me see. Got 8 minutes. I'm gonna call now. Can a father and son heal their relationship after the son has disrespected his dad? The dad is 51 and the son is 29. It can happen. It ain't gonna be easy though. Like I said earlier, God forgives, men don't. Very rarely does a man kind of, if the son can humble himself and genuinely admit to and express why he did it, how he was feeling, what he was going through, what he was dealing with, then the dad could understand it, especially if that's his blood. But if the son can't humble himself, he may never have a relationship with his dad. That just ain't how men work. Men respond to humility, not no ego, bravado, none of that. Is it reasonable to ask an ex to go through a mentor or coaching program before you would consider getting back together, and for how long? It's not only reasonable, it's mandatory. So you never go back to an ex without making sure that you've done some things to implement changes. That's one mistake that I see people make all the time, men and women, is they go back to an ex where the relationship was toxic and you broke up for a reason, and they've done nothing different. But one thing about words is words have power. As the good book says, death and life is in the power of the tongue. So even if your ex talks to a coach and doesn't want to change and doesn't want to grow, they will hear things that could alter their perspective and become new knowledge. And especially if it's like with a coach who has the proof in the pudding. So if it's somebody they can't relate to, then that's different. It may not be effective. But let's say it's a man and it's a black man. If he could talk to a married guy, whether it's at the church or online, and he can also see like peace and happiness on that guy, and especially even some success on that guy, then it's kind of like that. Show me instead of telling me. Like he could see it. Now you put him in there with a single woman, he might relapse. You put him in there with a single man. Most single men, 9 out of 10, you got some men who they single and their head is on the right way when they teaching something, but 9 out of 10 men gonna have some chauvinistic type views that may be unhealthy for a man who trying to get his woman back and trying to heal and grow. Tommy, you're in the right place. You're doing exactly what I would advise is get the knowledge. Get the knowledge. Because the more you know, the better off you're going to be. The problem is that people will get a master's degree, but not even get a high school diploma in relationships. You can have a master's, you can have a PhD, but if you don't learn love and relationships, you will lose it all, because you will meet the wrong man and he will have you in the insane asylum. You will lose your mind. So you got to learn about, and you got to study love and relationships and human relations as much as you study that schoolwork to get that master's. That is the mistake that people, but the thing about it is we can't really have this in school because there's so many types of love and so many ways that people want to love and so many belief systems. So it's not something you can put in school. So you got to get the knowledge on your own and then apply it to life. So this guy at my job decided to do me saying he would love to take me out instead of asking me face to face. And I'm like, maybe they'll DM me. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you no because he didn't ask me face to face. Am I wrong? Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong. I mean, he should have the courage to approach you, but he's at your job. So you got to remember, you got the Me Too movement. So he's trying to figure out a way that's less intrusive. You got people watching, you got gossipers, you could tell when a man, the way he's standing, the way he's doing his hands, if he's shooting his shot. So in that, it's an exception to the rule because it's at work. And so that's a little different. But again, sometimes, like I say, y'all can't have the unrealistic standards now and requirements when it ain't a dime a dozen of men out here. So you got to understand we in a new time. It is a new, only thing I don't like is online dating. But a DM, that's not online dating. That ain't Tinder or Bumble. No. I don't like online dating. I feel like that's a cesspool. And a lot of people like that. So it's like if you don't like online dating, at least be okay with a DM now. We could at least be okay with that because you on a social networking site, and it's just a man assumes it's less intrusive. I have worked on my physical body. Last question, I got to go. I worked on my physical body and aesthetic, yet I am not being approached by men. Any thoughts? Am I in protective custody? You could be in protective custody. And you also need to get some feedback on that, on physical body and aesthetic. It might not be given what you think is given. And so it's important to have a little conversation about it. Because that fashion might be ashen without the fashion, without the L. And, sometimes, body could be where we want it to be, but ain't where it need to be. And so, but if everything on the up and up in that area, then yes, you're in protective custody. But hey, God bless y'all. Got a coaching call right now. So going from coaching to coaching this week, because we going into the end of the year, I took and discounted the coaching sessions on mymentor.life, and by popular demand, it ain't as cheap as it is for the growth club. So if you're in the 2024 growth club, then yours is a little bit cheaper. But if you're not, then go to mymentor.life and You grab your sessions. I know I feel like August is taken and September could be taken, but you could check. Just go to mymentor.life and then click on hire a coach. But hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. Y'all see the site down there too, Wealth of Health. So if you can't afford coaching, go over there, get you some, pre-order your elderberry gummies. God bless you. We'll talk soon.